Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you a sort of thrift flip kind of video where I made a really cute corduroy halter top out of some pants. So a couple of weeks ago I was at a local thrift store and I saw that they had a really nice 2001 Singer sewing machine that was on sale, and it was only $35, and I thought that it was kind of a steal because all of the projects that I've made on a sewing machine in the past have been using my mom's sewing machine, which is at my parents' house. And so when I'm at school, I'm in college, I always have to save up all of the sewing projects that I want to do for when I go home. So I was really excited to finally have a sewing machine here. The first project that I ended up making on it was this really cute corduroy retro 70s halter top. So this video isn't really a tutorial because I honestly was kind of winging it most of the time when I was making this. I didn't use a pattern, I didn't really use any references, I was just kind of looking at various pictures of halter tops that I liked and kind of guessing. So this is kind of a me winging it, and you can watch it and sort of maybe take some ideas from it if you want to make something similar. So the fabric that I used for this project was actually a pair of men's corduroy pants that my boyfriend had actually bought from a different thrift store. And he ended up cropping them sort of into corduroy shorts. So he gave me the knee to ankle section of both pant legs to use to create this top. So that's the only fabric that I ended up using to make this top. And I ended up using a zipper that I bought. That was probably $5. So it was a very economical project to work on, and it ended up being a lot of fun. The way that I started on this project was sort of looking at how much material I had and sort of the shape of the material that I had, because when I cut the pant legs open on the seams, I really would have had to make a very narrow top. So the way that I ended up combating that issue was by making two separate panels for the front and two separate panels for the back. So I didn't need a huge piece of fabric to make either section. So I kind of went into my sketchbook and I did a couple of little sketches just like this where I was kind of mapping out the kind of shape that I wanted. The final project did not really end up looking like these. And then I ended up cutting out two back panels. So it's kind of two square back panels where the zipper would meet in the middle. And one front panel for the, what's this area called? Like the torso area? The under boob area? I don't know what to call it. This front panel that is a little bit of a curved shape on the top and then straight on the bottom. So that I kind of held up against my body to see that it would wrap around with the two back panels, pin those together just to sort of wing it, measure it, kind of. I ended up cutting out two long pieces that would come up and around the neck. The biggest thing that I was a little bit scared of was cutting these two pieces in the front because I knew if I didn't cut it right, I wouldn't have enough fabric to finish the project. It was a little nervous, but I ended up doing a bit of a rounded shape on the bottom and then sort of like a triangular shape on the top. But this inner seam was a little bit curved, which ended up being a mistake. Maybe don't do that, I don't know. The original idea was to have a tie around the neck so that I could adjust it depending on how tight or loose I wanted it to be, but I really didn't end up having enough fabric to do that. My second idea was to have buttons, and that did not work out either because I ended up not getting buttons, and I also thought that it might be a little bit too much stress on the buttons. Like I thought this neck area, it might pull too much on them and they probably would have come off very easily. And once I had cut those, I also added a dart on either side just to that section to sort of get it to be a little bit more form-fitting. The way that I have made them before, I've done it a couple of times, is I would just hold up this piece and then you just pinch the fabric like this until it kind of lays flat against your chest, and then you just pin it, sew it down, cut out the inside. I don't know. Is that the right way to do it? I don't know. Who knows? Once I had those two long triangular pieces, I ended up trying to attach them to that bottom front piece, and that was a little difficult for me. The inside of this is not that beautiful. So it ended up being a bit of a curved seam along here. And then I kind of left this center stitch a little bit open because I wasn't sure if I would want to close it a little bit more. So once that I had done that, I was kind of hemming some of the edges that were still open. So then I realized that the zipper that I had bought was a little bit too long for the amount of fabric that I had, and it also was not a separating zipper. so that was definitely a mistake. I realize now that if I had done this with this hindsight vision that I have now, I probably would have put the zipper on this side instead of in the back, because it can be a little bit difficult to zip it up by myself when the zipper is in the back. I can do it, it just sometimes it takes a couple of tries, but it ended up working. And then I kind of sewed along this edge so that the side seam of the front panels would kind of line up with the back panels. And so when I was trying it on at that point, I only had a couple of things that I wasn't liking at that point. I thought that there was a little bit too much side boob action happening, so I ended up trying to cut some of these smaller panels to put on the sides just to make it a little bit more modest and also to be a little bit more comfortable and supportive. And I also ended up deciding to sew up this little seam here, and from then it was mostly just finishing out the hems, sewing together this top section here. That's how I made this cute halter top. I have worn it a couple of times now. It's really comfy. I've worn it with just like jeans, a little bit like of a mid-rise boot cut jean. It's really cute with shorts, really anything that you want to wear it with. Once again, I'm totally not an expert at sewing. I've only done various few projects. Not a lot of them I have made things from scratch. This is only the second top that I've ever made from scratch, but I think that it ended up working out really well. I have a couple other thrifted items that I'm gonna look into doing a little bit of a thrift flip with. So I will hopefully be able to film those and also share them because I had a lot of fun doing this one. If you have any other ideas for other thrift flips or video ideas, let me know. And if you have any questions about how I made this shirt, I can probably try to answer them. I don't know if I'll be able to really give you technical advice, but if you need advice winging it on a sewing project, I can definitely give you advice doing that because I've been there before. So if you like this video, if you like this top that I made, definitely like this video, and I'll see you in another one. Bye!